What is one of the best investments you've ever made?
I would say by far the best investment I ever made is education, right? Like education and continual life learning. We talk about in our office, we talk about being students of the business, right? I generally read 600 to 800 pages a month of economic and political commentary. I've done it every month for 38 years. And so you can have confidence in how you're guiding clients. And for me, it's not just what you've read. I've also lived with clients through two Persian Gulf Wars and the dot-com 9/11 scenario and so forth. So it's the combination of all the reading and education along with the real life experiences. And then I would say the other great investment for me is just being willing to take the risk, the entrepreneurial risk to start my own business, right? And build a business that has substantial value beyond just my retirement accounts, my investment accounts, and my home. Having an investment like that where you were willing to take the risk and build a business that has enterprise value has been the best thing.
Beautiful. What advice would you give to a fresh investor about to enter the financial world? And what advice should they ignore?
Yeah, I would say the best advice would be to start early, start small. Don't think you got to do it all at once and celebrate small wins. Take these small wins and use them to compound to future success. The biggest thing I would say to avoid is just don't get caught up with like long-term financial guidelines for building wealth haven't changed that much. A lot of times small, newer, younger investors get really caught up in that idea we just talked about, the sexy improbability, this attractive thing. And if I put money here, I could hit this massive home run, but I might strike out also. It's like I'd much rather see people compound and grow regularly than swing for the fences and then maybe strike out in the process, right? So just celebrate the small wins and don't get overly captivated by something that sounds too good to be true.
Finally, who should I invite next to this podcast? Or what should our listeners hear about?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if you want to have another somebody who's like in our world but wrote a really good book on a different topic, my one of my good friends and business partners who lives in another part of the country from me is a guy by the name of Pete Bush. I can introduce you to him. He wrote a book called The Runway Decade a couple of years ago, and the idea behind the book is when you get into your 50s, right? You've got about 10 years of runway left before you take off into your retirement journey. And what are the things you need to do in those last 10 years before you retire to to create a successful retirement for yourself? He's a great guy, great speaker, really fun guy. And he also played baseball for Louisiana State and played he's got a number of professional baseball players that are clients of his. So he's dealt with people, professional sports athletes who sometimes bring different resources and challenges. He tells great stories. You'd have fun with him.
Great, thank you. I would love to meet with him.
Yeah. Shoot me an email and I'll introduce you.
Perfect, I will do that. Thank you, Jesse. That was amazing. I've learned so much today. Thank you so much.